I don't know. Maybe it's not going to happen for Oscar Gonzalez. Let's move on, Timmy.
Yes.
Clevenger has had two good starts in a row, granted against the Diamondbacks, but despite the injuries, and it's been disappointing because he hasn't pitched a whole lot. He hasn't pitched bad. 2.79 ERA, striking
Yeah.
over a batter and inner. I didn't realize that he had actually had some success. Is he a guy that you can start every outing, or are you still playing the matchups?
Every outing from here on in, I think the gloves come off. I know the past two starts were against Arizona, but for me, when I look back to the beginning of May, I see 4 2/3, 4 1/3, 5, 3, 2, 4, 6. I think the gloves are going to come off, and I think they're going to start working in 5, 6 innings per outing. At least that's what I'm betting on, and I'm going to start him accordingly.
So no concerns about Seattle next week at home.
No concerns about Seattle, other than, hey, just a standard concern: is he going to pitch deep enough into games? It's like Chris Archer. Chris Archer's pitched very well, but he hasn't gotten 5, 6 innings in and a whole bunch of starts. The only concern I'll have until we see him string together 2 or 3 starts is how deep are the Padres going to let him go. And after that last 6-inning outing where he allowed only 1 hit, I'd have to think that the gloves are coming off and they're going to start upping his workload level, which is exactly what we want to see.
I think the Twins are handling Chris Archer perfectly. I know he sucks from a fantasy standpoint.
Right. I agree.
Getting 4 innings of quality baseball from a guy who probably has no business pitching, right, in the big leagues is pretty impressive.
Yes. Now, it's too bad that Baldelli can't do anything with a bullpen as far as managing it is concerned. But, yeah, so far so good with Chris Archer.
Yeah, I have a guy that I follow on Twitter who is a huge Minnesota Twins fan, and it's every evening it's ranting about the Minnesota Twins bullpen. So
yeah, give Duran the job and let him go with it.
What, he can't pitch 4 innings, Tim. That's the problem. The setup guys aren't any good. The closers, I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess right now. And what's sad is that division's it's up for grabs.
For sure.
And the Twins have to do better in the next month and a half and make some upgrades, or else eventually a team that is playing very mediocre in the White Sox will pass them.
No, we don't want to hear that, Timmy.
No,
okay.
We don't.
7th question is Robby Ray also is pitching better, but he's got. I looked at it. Home road splits are terrible. 2.45 at home and a 5.24 ERA on the road. Is he an everyday start, or would you do the home away circus with him?
Well, you look at, obviously the splits are really ugly, but he still has 105 strikeouts and 97 2/3. Mm-hmm. I think how I would approach Robby Ray is I would look at the specific starts.
All right, well that's a good one. Home against Toronto.
He's home against Toronto. Yeah, he's definitely going.
Really? If he was at Toronto, what would you do?
Bench.
Really?
Yes, I would sit him. When you look at the game log for Robby Ray, it's definitely interesting. But other than you have to go back to his second start of the year. Okay, he allowed 6 earned runs in Chicago against the White Sox. That's when they had a healthy team. Okay, then a string of 2-2, 3-4, 2. And then the New York Mets, he allowed 5 runs on May 15th. At Boston, 4 runs. At Houston, 4 runs. Okay. He was fine against Oakland. Okay. I think top.
So you're saying the good teams it's tough to start him against?
Well, yeah, he was fine against Miami on the road. He allowed 3 runs over 5 innings. It's if he's playing against a top club on the road right now, I think the numbers support sitting him. Simple as that. If he's playing an average team, I'd wheel him out there for the strikeout potential.
Timmy, let's take our final break. We get back. Let's find out who Tim is picking up this weekend, and we'll tease them with a question we didn't get to, Tim.
Okay, sounds good.
So it was take 9 with Tim today, Timmy, so we shortchanged our listeners.
Well, I'm sure they'll get over it as long as we don't tell them what number 9 is. But number 9.
Well, I'm going to tell them what number 9 is because we're going to talk about it on Sunday.
Right.
And Clint, who is one of our followers on Twitter, sent a note that some writer from Sporting News wrote, "Is it time for the Angels to trade Mike Trout or Shohei Ohtani?" And I read the article. It was a pretty lightweight article, but it's a very, very interesting question, Tim. And I think we should talk about it.
I think it's going to make for an interesting discussion. Looking forward to it.
Just to give details, Trout's owed $35 million per year until 2030, Tim. That's a long way away. He'll be 38. And Ohtani, I did not realize this, has only 1 year left before he becomes an unrestricted free agent. He signed a 2-year deal before last season. It pays him $8.5 million for 2021 and 22. So he's not signed. How much is he going to make next year, Timmy? That's a question I'm going to ask you.
Yeah,
got to be 30, 40. I want it to go to arbitration, right? Because that's got to be crazy.
How much did the Yankees pay?
21
for Masahiro Tanaka.
Oh, Tanaka. I thought you were going to say Aaron Judge. I think Judge just did 21.
Yeah, take what they paid Tanaka and double it.
Because it's got to be like Aaron Judge offensively, and then a pitcher of who's won a. So Ohtani's got an MVP on there. That's gonna play into how much he's going to get paid, and he's a pitcher too. So I can't even imagine. It's going to be fascinating what the arbiter comes back with a number on that.
Yeah, in arbitration, well, he's an unrestricted free agent, right?
And so next year he is not. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2024. So he's got one more year.
Okay. Yeah, and arbitration, $30 million.
At least
he's going to break the bank.
I would think so. Think so. It's going to be fun.
There's going to be new numbers for everybody to chase, and good luck chasing them because he offers something that nobody else in the game offers. You know, it's amazing.
It's amazing, Timmy, and it's going to be a fun discussion because, I mean, it's a provocative question and one that we asked 3 years ago: should the Angels trade Michael Trout? And they decided to keep him, and we're right back in the same question again. Do the Angels keep or trade Ohtani? Can you have two $40 million players or a $35 million and a $45 million? Can you spend $80 million for two players on your team?
Artie Moreno can, but he's going to have to spend a few other million on getting his pitching upgraded. Yeah,
which he doesn't seem to necessarily want to do.
Right. I remember we had a steak and liquor bet. Didn't I predict they were going to trade him 3 years ago? And that's
right. And I said they would stay. Yeah, so I won that steak and liquor. That was a 2-year steak and liquor bet. So
don't see many of them.
No. Okay, Timmy, what one positional player are you targeting this weekend, and what one pitcher? I say one. Give me only one name.
Hitter
first.
Derek Hall.
Oh, Darick Hall. So,
yes, that one. Yes, yeah, I've been trying to sneak 2 R's in there, and his first name's gonna drive me nuts. But I think after what we saw last night, and the fact that the Phillies, they inserted him right away into the cleanup spot.
I know.
Yeah, they're not fooling around. They want to see what this kid can do.
Yeah.
And if I know last night might not have been a good overall indication, but man, he hit 2 of them out of the park. That's a good sign.
I don't know who it was against. I think it was later in the game after the Phillies, because I checked early in the evening and he was 0 for 2 with a walk, I believe. And then I looked back down and he had the 2 home runs. So I don't think it was against a positional player, but
I don't think it was either. But Ian Anderson could have been a positional player yesterday.
Yeah, he's Timmy. I mean, look, I've said it. I'll say it again. It's a number 3, number 4 starter, and he was never as good as he was that rookie season. So
he's in one of my leagues. He's on my bench. He has been for a couple of weeks, but he's going to be my next cut.
Yeah.
You can't. We're getting to the stage where Eric Fetty could be an upgrade and is an upgrade.
Oh, jeez. I should, in hindsight, Timmy, that horrible decision I made, I should have stuck with it. And I did.
He's pitched well since that.
Pitched well. The worst game was the one I rostered him for. Thank you very much for all your fantasy advice at Rich Wilson P361. I got you covered. So I'll pick the game that the pitcher sucks at. I got it.
Okay, your niche in this game has now been enshrined, right?
My niche in this game is do the opposite of what Rich tells you to do. That's my niche. So, Timmy, who's your pitcher you're picking up?
Okay, well, here's a name that's not a household name, not by any stretch of the imagination, but right now David Bednar is dealing with lower back discomfort. Okay, missed a couple games, and he got absolutely tattooed last night. My gut feeling, and it's only a gut feeling, is that Bednar's headed for the IL. And the guy it looks like you will want in Pittsburgh is Yuri De Los Santos. He got the save last night, so he's definitely going to be a target of mine heading into the weekend. Lower back discomfort is not a good thing. He missed a few games. He got lit up pretty good last night, which is not David Bednar. He's been pitching very, very well this year. So I'm looking at Yuri De Los Santos.
I have to tell you, and this is a public service announcement for all of our listeners. Tim is not always right. But he is more right than wrong on seeing who's going to get the playing time. You need to take this advice to heart. And I would make a move on the guy, Timmy. I would, just based on what you're saying.
Well, it makes sense. It all fits.
Yep.
You've got somebody with a back injury, rough outing last night. Backs are tricky things. And
the logic is there, Timmy. I love it. This is what I like about it, because you're thinking through these playing time calculus, and you're trying to guess where the team is going to go. And again, sometimes you get it wrong, but I more times than not, you are right. So
historically, I think my track record is pretty good when it comes to predicting playing time opportunity. And you're right. That's how I approach everything associated with this game. I shouldn't say everything, but for the most part, when I'm looking at players to add, just trying to logically think through what is that team going to do. And like you said, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the rationale is there. It's not like I'm pulling out a dartboard and just throwing darts at names.
It's more of a Ouija board, Timmy. That would be what that is.
Yeah, and I got to get new batteries for that one.
So let me. Can I throw out another name?
Yeah, sure.
This is a guy you haven't talked about, and I picked him up, I think, in 3 leagues last weekend. And partially because I watch a lot of Orioles games, because that's what Lori likes to watch. Yeah. And Dean Kramer has been very good. Doesn't strike out a ton of guys, but I like the way he's pitching. Keeps the ball down, and again, the Orioles are a bad team. They're not the worst team. They're a bad team. I kind of like them.
Yeah, I was all over Dean Kramer a couple of years ago when he first got called up, and he looked really good. And then he pitched a couple games, didn't look so good, and I think he ended up on the IL. But no, Dean Kramer is definitely going to be in my article this week. Good call. Another guy, I got to take a look at the numbers on him, but Ross Stripling's been pitching well lately. It's getting tough on the pitching. You look at what's down on the farm, and
Max Meyer's back. FYI.
Yeah. Yes. That's another name that's on my short list.
Okay.
Yeah. No. It's and you know what,
Timmy, put the name Ken Waldichuk on your waiver wire this weekend. Just FYI.
Ken, how do you spell that last name?
Waldichuk. Waldichuk. He is with your New York Yankees. He is a left-handed pitcher in AAA.
Okay.
Waldichuk. Plus, it's fun to say.
Well, I was going to say, and you know what? I don't care how good your spell check program is, it ain't going to sort that one out, is it?
Not going to sort that out. Oh, by the way, Timmy, so remember I told you what it's your last